Hello, and welcome to Ohio University's online Professional Masters of Business Administration information session. My name is Lauren. I am an enrollment counselor at Ohio University, and I'll be helping moderate today. So today we have a packed agenda where you'll have the opportunity to meet our online PMBA program director and hear his passion as he provides an overview of the professional MBA program, including what makes the program unique and details on the curriculum, as well as the Leadership Development Conference, tuition and career outcomes. We'll also hear from two of our most recent alumni who will share their firsthand experience in this program and how it has impacted their careers. Then we'll hear from our graduate career acceleration team and talk about the admissions requirements and next steps. I am excited to introduce our professional MBA program director, Professor Tom Marquez. Professor Marquez is an associate professor of instruction in marketing and the director of our PMBA program. Professor Marquez, welcome. Would you tell us a little bit more about your background?
Hi, yes, this is my 9th year teaching at Ohio University. I came to Ohio University after a long corporate career. I spent over 30 plus years working with some of America's greatest brands like Hershey and Nestle. I was a vice president of marketing for Elmer's products and Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bob Evans, fifth biggest pizza company in the country, Papa Murphy's Pizza. And I made a move to 9 years ago. It's something that I absolutely love. This past year, I was awarded the Provost Award for the top teaching professional across the university. It's something I'm really passionate about. And it was a great decision because my wife came with me. As you'll see a little bit later, she also has been a professor here at Ohio University the last 9 years, and we both teach together in this program.
Wow, that's so wonderful to hear. Thank you, Professor Marquez. I know our faculty are also a great asset to our professional MBA program. Can you tell us a little more about them and the real world experience and research that they bring to the program?
Sure. So the faculty is really the key to the program. And when we do our exit surveys every semester, the number one top thing that people say about the program is the quality and the accessibility of our faculty and the experience that they all have, both in the professional world and in teaching. My wife, Lori, as I said, she also had a long corporate career. She has her MBA, her CPA. She's a certified Scrum Master, her PMP. She was vice president of product development for a software company, and she teaches our course in information systems and in this program, as well as teaching in several other programs. Tammy Rapp is an award-winning professor. You would start your program with Tammy teaching you about leadership and teamwork and human resource development. Outstanding teacher. She just won our graduate teaching award this past year. Puram Buddha has been teaching with us for 9 years in the program. The 9 years that I'm here, she's been teaching in the program since before that. Just an excellent professor, does a great job. Andy Fodor has been teaching in the program since before I came, 9 years. So you see, we've got just a lot of experience. Andy was the head of the finance department, was our graduate dean, just took on another new role within the college. Again, one of the top leaders here at Ohio University. Dave Stott is a very experienced guy who is the head of the accounting department, who teaches our accounting department, our accounting class. Ellen Gordon is a new, along with some of the more senior persons. We've got another person, and one thing that she has in common with everybody else is just an excellent teacher. To get into this program, to teach in this program, you've got to be very high evaluations and within the college. We have some others that aren't on the board there. Travis Davidson is the new head of the finance department who teaches our class. And again, anybody who teaches in this program is going to have one common thing. They're going to be a great teacher and they're going to have a lot of passion.
Okay, thank you, Professor Marquez. Could you also tell us why students choose to continue their education and earn their graduate degree at Ohio University?
Yeah, I think what people tell us about why they came to Ohio University is they like the flexibility of the program. We've got an interesting class format. I think we got a couple of slides that'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's a format where you've got in-person experience on Saturday residencies. And then you also have the flexibility because you've got some virtual classes in the evening. And then finally, you have some courses that are online. So there's that flexibility, that kind of hybrid program, along with the networking and professional development that goes on as well.
Thank you. Also, I'd like to introduce two of our recent PMBA alumni, Shane Colvin and Audrey Prokop. Welcome. Shane, would you tell us about your background and what you currently do, please?
Sure. So I was actually fortunate enough to be a 2010 graduate of Ohio University, and it seemed natural as I looked through different programs to really come back to Ohio University for my MBA. So I spent the first portion of my career in the aviation field, which I graduated from Ohio University with in a background, and then transitioned into a company that I really wanted to be a part of a whole business as opposed to maybe just selling or maybe just being part of that. So I spent the last 10 years in the state of Ohio working for a manufacturer of raw flexible magnets. We've got another two divisions as well that make tapes and films as well as inks and coatings. So I've spent the last 10 years working with those companies. And as a result, quite frankly, of being involved in this program, it's actually taken me to the top of the company where I've been recently promoted to be the president of that company. So that's really the 30,000 foot view of how my transition went from starting out as a Bobcat and finishing as well.
Okay. And Audrey, can you tell us about your background and what you currently do?
Absolutely. So I actually also graduated undergrad from OU with a major in communications and minor in psychology. And after graduating, I went to work in insurance for about 7 years. And 3 years after graduation is when it hit me that I needed to take control of my career more and not just work as hard as possible in the office, but really do whatever I could to set myself apart. So that's when I started looking at MBA programs, and I just naturally gravitated towards OU because I was comfortable with it. And when I went to the open house, I just felt like I was in the right spot. I didn't feel any uncertainty. I just felt really excited and like I could really hit the ground running. After I finished my MBA program, I went on to earn my green belt, so Lean Six Sigma certification. And within a few months, I moved from insurance to IT security. So I'm currently a enterprise security business process engineer, which is a very long title. But what I'm doing now is creating the vendor risk management program for Franklin County. And I'm also working with our county agencies to create process improvement initiatives. So just keep things moving, just flowing and moving easily and making sure that everything's properly documented so that it can continue as usual if there were to be any kind of groundbreaking changes. So yeah, I'm happy to be here today. Thank you guys.
Thank you for sharing, Shane and Audrey. We'll hear more about your experience in the master's program as we go through the session today. Professor Tom Marquez, can you describe the key benefits of Ohio's online professional MBA program?
Sure. Again, as I said before, it's a hybrid curriculum. That's really different. We have that blend of in-person experience, which I think is so important in any education, the ability to actually meet your classmates, meet your professor. You complete the program. It's a 2-year program, 24 months, 6 semesters. It says there 2 courses per semester, but that's actually, you start off with 2 courses per semester, but then there will be a couple other semesters where you will take just 1 7-week course at a time. You do have the opportunity to specialize. We've got 9 different concentration areas, and that's been growing. We just added project management, for example, in the past year. You got many other areas. We've got a slide that we'll talk about that coming up. A 36 credit hour program. Typically, we get about 30 to 40 students in the cohort. We actually have, sometimes we'll have a cohort with only about 20 cohorts. One that starts in January typically is going to be a little bit smaller. So you get a lot of personalized opportunity there. The class sizes are, I think, just right in terms of good mix of being able to work with your professor and your classmates. And Ohio University is a highly ranked and recognized program. Number 4 in terms of best business schools in Ohio. I think the largest graduate program from an MBA standpoint in Ohio. And we just keep improving it in the business rankings across the board.
Wonderful. Audrey, Shane, why did you choose Ohio's online PMBA program?
That's a great question. When I first started looking at different programs, nothing really felt right. I felt like there was a lot of uncertainty and nothing was really what I was looking for as far as flexibility, because I was still going to continue to work full time and I didn't want to give up my career to go back to school, even though if I could, I would have. That would have been amazing. But this was just exactly what I was looking for. I knew that I did not want to be completely online because I really enjoy that face-to-face interaction and being with my fellow students and getting to know everybody. And I knew that if I chose this program, having that ability to do some online and some in person, it was just a total game changer. It was exactly what I needed. And it gave me that true feeling of being back in school and not just continuing to sit at your desk after working all day, then going home and sitting at a desk some more. It was just a totally different feeling of getting out there and getting to know people. And it was just very hands-on. So that's what really set it apart for me, was that flexibility and the hybrid aspect of it.
And Shane?
Yeah, that's Audrey's spot on with what the program offered. I was fortunate enough in my career, I've been able to travel quite a bit. And as it came to light that I really wanted to go down this path, I was lucky enough to be able to stop in and, quite frankly, just talk to different colleges and universities about what their program looked like, how people interacted, how the staff interacted with students. And quite frankly, I was shocked when I stopped in Dublin to speak with the advisor there on a whim. Brought me in, showed me the facilities, absolutely fantastic facilities in Dublin. I was shocked to know, one, that as an alumni, I didn't realize we had a campus there, and two, how new, modern, and how nice the technology was. So that was a piece of it. And then, quite frankly, being able to come, as Audrey mentioned, to the facility, meet with people from different backgrounds and have that personal connection, which I can tell you, I probably stay in touch with over 2/3 of our cohort now, just because I thought that relationship was that important when it came to going through such a program. So the combination of all that, and of course, being a Bobcat alum, definitely weighed in a little bit, but I was just shocked at how well everybody spoke of it, and then what I saw when I stopped in and spoke with people.
Great. Thank you for your responses. Professor Marquez, can you describe more of the unique aspects of the professional MBA program, including
Sure.
the delivery model and what
I-
students can expect?
Again, that's our key differentiator, I think, is this hybrid program. The in-class, to me, the in-class, in-person classes are really the highlight, the once a month Saturday sessions. They are really dynamic sessions. This is not going to be like, if you can remember, an undergrad class maybe where you had a lot of people in there and a professor lectures. That's not what this is about. These classes are going to be much more an executive session that you might take as some training for your job in the corporate world. People are going to be coming in there. They're very energized. You walk in the door. We've got your coffee and your beverages and so forth. And we're able to do things in the in-person class where we're going to be putting together in teams, and you're going to be working with each other to solve problems. In my class, for example, both Audrey and Shane have been in my class where I was vice president of Elmer's for 9 years. So I put people in a situation. Here's the situation I was in at Elmer. You need to now solve this problem and develop a new positioning for the product. And they're playing with arts and crafts and things like that. Just very hands-on to try to simulate and problems in the real world. So those in-person classes to me are a real highlight. Virtual classes are awesome as well. Again, very different than just a completely online program where it's you have interactions with professors, but they're primarily in an office hour type situation for help. In the virtual classes, it's much like, what we do in the corporate world, where you're attending a meeting and everything about that meeting is live. You're just not physically present. The same thing happens with our virtual classes. So these tend to be, you'll have, like in our semesters that are 14 weeks long, you'll have 6 of these virtual classes on an evening. They're recorded. If you're traveling and you miss it, they're recorded. But again, you can attend even if you're traveling, because you can attend from anywhere. And it's actually live instruction. And then the online modules are our concentration courses. You will take 3 courses that will be fully online. And we do that in concert with our online program. So you'll be in that class with some people from the online program and others who are within your cohort.
All right, wonderful. Shane and Audrey, was the delivery model one of the deciding factors in choosing our PMBA program as you were doing your research for an
Yes, absolutely. Like I said earlier, I love the in-person aspect of it all, but it was not realistic for me to be in a completely in-person MBA program while working full-time. So this was just like the perfect balance because we were always engaging with our professors and our classmates. And you always felt like you had that support because you were together in person. You really got to know each other well. And then you're together at least once a week live. And then you're doing additional projects together in groups. So it just really teaches you how to work with a lot of different kinds of people in different industries and backgrounds. And it gives you that flexibility that you need to feel like you have a true in-person MBA experience, but still not have to spend all of your time in person and have that flexibility there. So I truly loved the format. And I will tell you that I wish I could go back to these in-person classes because we had so much fun during the days. And like, especially our presentation days, we would have a blast. And often after class, we would get together, a few of us, and go get dinner or whatever, and just spend time together. So there were so many great relationships that were built because of the in-person factor that I don't think would have been there if I did 100% online. So this mix of virtual and in-person and everything, it was a total game changer.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for both of you sharing your experiences. So we already spoke to the Saturday residencies. Here are a few visuals of the Dublin campus and our classroom. Professor Marquez, the students within the PMBA run the gamut in terms of years of experience in industry. Can you tell us why you are so purposeful in ensuring our students are diverse?
Yeah, I think right there you could see it with Audrey and Shane. I think Audrey, if I remember, you were only a few years out of school. I think 3, did you say earlier?
Yes, 3
Yeah.
years out. And I was like, I'm ready to go back.
And then Shane, on the other hand, I think, Shane, you said you had graduated in 2010. So probably when you got in the program, maybe 7 or 8 years, you were more towards that. You can see the kind of mix, and it's a great mix, I think. Again, for someone like Audrey, she's gaining a lot from the knowledge that Shane's bringing in terms of his experience and so forth. From Shane's standpoint, he's gaining experience because it's very much like the real world where we work with people who've got different experience levels, different abilities from when it comes to technology and so forth. And I think everybody seems to appreciate that kind of coming together from an experience standpoint, but then also just the experiences of the industries. Here, I think is really valuable for someone like Shane to hear about people in the medical industry or in another industry. I think it's really valuable for Audrey to hear from people they're in banking. She's in insurance right now, but I wonder what's happening in the banking, and I could draw some analogies between that particular industry and my industry. I think the mix really makes it a fun and interesting program.
All right, thank you. Professor Marquez, can you tell us more about the curriculum within the program?
Sure. So you've got your 9 core courses that everyone will take, and they range from the very first semester you're jumping in and you're taking an organizational behavior and human resource management course. That's a fun course with Tammy Rapp. You're going to be taking leadership assessments and learning how to work within teams and so forth. But then you're also going to be taking a course in analytics, which of course is so important and helps us set the stage for future courses where you'll need to have some of that analytical background. You then take 2 courses, one in accounting, and then you'll take my course in strategic marketing. So those 2 will be taught together. You then go on a sequence of a couple of 7-week programs where you're only taking that 7 weeks. One course, you take managerial finance, operations management, and then my wife's course in strategic use of information systems. And then you actually come back and you take the other 2 core courses at the end, one in strategy and one which is an applied experience where you take all the learning you've had in the program and apply it to a simulation. You also take 3 courses over a 7-week period online, which as part of your concentration. And those are the 9 different concentration areas you have to choose from.
Wonderful. Audrey, Shane, how did earning this degree impact your career?
Sorry, Shane, I don't mean to keep going first.
You're making my job easy, Audrey, to be honest with you. So I was letting you go.
Okay, perfect. Honestly, if I don't know where I would be if I did not earn my MBA. It was truly the one thing that really set me apart from everybody else. And without it, I don't know where I would be. I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I had to earn it and be in such a great program. I know for a fact that there's no way that I would be in IT security right now if I did not have my MBA, showing that, hey, I can put forth the effort and learn new things, and I am valuable, even though I don't necessarily have experience in IT security currently, which in my defense, my position is not tech heavy, but not the point. It's just, it really set me apart. And there's not enough good that I can say about it really, because you can work as hard as you want at a company and you can do as much as you think is going to set you apart. But in my experience, I was doing so much and nothing was making a difference until I did something that directly invested in myself and not just something that I was doing to invest in a company. So it's incredible what doors it's opened for me and how easily I can interact with people that are in higher up positions, and how I feel like there's a different level of understanding when you meet other people that have graduated with an MBA. They understand the hard work that you put forth, and there's a mutual respect that it's like, okay, I see you, and I know that if I'm working with you, that things are going to be a little bit different, and I have different expectations because I know what you went through to earn your degree, and it was a lot. So it means so much to me because it really did set me apart from so many people, because it's a very small percentage of us that go on to get our master's degrees. And I think it really just shows that you have what it takes to just really work hard and show that you can do so much more than what you're being given at the time. Yeah, there's not enough good that I can say about it. And I'm sorry, I'm rambling. It's just like, I could talk about it for days. This degree just means the world to me and my experience that I had at OU.
Thank you, Audrey. And Shane, how did earning this degree impact your career?
I touched on it briefly when we first led off the meeting. As I progressed through my career in my current position, it was obvious to both my boss and the owners of the company, as I would bring new things to the table, as Audrey mentioned, you're in a setting with 20 to 25 other people in different industries, and you're going to talk about things in that time that you're there with them about. I'm talking about insurance. I'm questioning people about the print industry. As many things as you could imagine to speak about in terms of business and what challenges are at that point in time, we were having discussions on. So I'm bringing that back to the company and showing value. As much as a benefit as it is to have the 3 letters after your name, quite frankly, it's the experiences that I was able to build on, bring back to my company, and show value of ownership, and my predecessor as well, to be amplified from the director of business development to the president of a company based here in Ohio. So that's full gamut. When you look at my experiences, the career, as Audrey mentioned, it's so beneficial to be able to sit down, talk to people in other industries, learn the content itself as well. It's not just the connections you're making. It's the things that Tom's bringing from marketing. It's the things that Professor Davidson is having conversations with me on a daily basis when I'm in the finance concentration. He's saying, okay, we're learning this week. Now I want you to go out and read an article and bring it back to me from the Wall Street Journal and how that applies. So it's the real world section of, okay, we know how it applies to our business. We know how it applies to the world. Bring that back and affect all points of that. So that's really the biggest, how it helped propel me, is that I was able to apply everything I could with both real world, both from the professor as well as my cohort.
Thank you, Shane. Here are the 9 concentrations students can choose from. Each concentration has 3 courses. Professor Marquez, you mentioned that the Learning Development Conference is a unique aspect of the program. Can you tell us more about this?
Yeah, we have a leadership development conference Again, so all students who come into the program will be required to take and I say required, people really love this program. It's a 2-day event on campus. We offer them several times a year. A hotel and meals are covered, and people come together. And this is a great event because it's not just our program, but it's also our online program as well. So you're going to have a couple of hundred people coming together, networking and hearing from some absolutely world-class speakers. There will be keynote speeches. There's also breakout rooms, and it goes over the course of a weekend. And so it's a great opportunity for networking as well as professional development.
Thank you. Now we'll go on and discuss a little more about the tuition. The professional MBA tuition is $973 per credit for Ohio residents and almost the same at $992 per credit for non-resident students. To complete the full 36 credit program, this works out to be just about $35,000 in tuition for Ohio residents. Note that, as Professor Marquez mentioned, while your hotel and most meals are covered once you're on campus for the Learning Development Conference, the travel costs to Athens, Ohio campus will also be something you'll need to budget for, in addition to any auxiliary supplies and fees. We do offer financial aid and scholarships, and many of our students also take advantage of tuition reimbursement from their employers. Audrey, can you tell us your experience using tuition reimbursement to pay for your degree?
Absolutely. Since I was an alumni of OU, I was actually eligible for an alumni scholarship. So I was automatically granted $5,000 towards my tuition, which was an extremely easy, painless process. And I also was able to get some tuition reimbursement through the company that I worked for at the time, which was also fairly painless. I just had to submit some documentation for that. But it's nice to know that there are ways to get help with your tuition for grad school.
Thank you, Audrey. And Shane, same question?
Just like Audrey, like I said, making it easy on me. I was the Bobcat as well, so I got the $5,000 scholarship. And then as far as when it comes to your company, I was fortunate enough to where my company did back and pay for a significant portion of my degree, but I can tell you they would not have done that had I not gone in and really sold and given some of those feature benefits. So I would highly encourage any type of, if you've known somebody to go through the program, if you can reach out and talk a little bit more, if you can take some of the notes from this, I think that it would become a no-brainer for anybody that's in a position to approve this, because you're going to gain so much and make the company and yourself so much better.
Thank you, Shane. Professor Marquez, many of our students want to know what their career outcome options are after graduating from our professional MBA program. Can you talk to us about that?
Again, it's an incredibly diverse program. So you see people moving up through the ranks to someone like Shane, all the way to that president job. But you also heard Audrey, who this was really critical for her to move up through the ranks from that early entry-level position into more mid-level positions within the company. We've had people leave the program with such a variety of experiences, from chief financial officers to commodity managers, program managers, project managers, and so forth. So it's really across the board. We have a lot of folks who come in as engineers, and they want to get that experience that moves them into the corporate, into the managing people and so forth. A lot of people making that transition as well.
Thank you. Now we'll hear from Elizabeth Garino, who will speak to the awesome GradCat career support benefit for our graduate students.
Thanks very much. Thanks to the innovative partnership between Ohio University and Rise Smart, students in degreed graduate programs have the opportunity to enroll in an intensive 4-month career coaching program. We call this GradCat, and it stands for Graduate Career Acceleration Team. This unique experience includes a career team of 3 comprised of an individual career coach, a branding expert who is also a professional resume writer, and a career concierge whose sole mission is to uncover hidden job opportunities that are not otherwise posted in the marketplace. This experience also includes a technology platform that provides access to webinars, templates, assessments, and many other resources designed to support career growth and transition. For students who opt in when they become eligible, this support continues for life. As team leader for GradCat, I have the opportunity and the honor of leveraging my extensive background in human resources and talent acquisition to provide direct career services to students, as well as programming that is relevant to all phases of career entry, growth, transition, and acceleration. In a word, Ohio's Graduate Career Services is dedicated to being meaningful for all students enrolled in master's programs at the Ohio's College of Business. Wherever students are in their career, no matter how far they want to go, to the C-suite or starting and growing your own business, the GradCat team has the expertise and the commitment to support all students for life.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And now let's discuss the admissions requirements. As far as the admission requirements go for this program, students need a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution. Students also need a minimum of a 3.0 GPA.
So thank you, Elizabeth. Just a little bit about our admission requirements. It's, I think, a pretty painless procedure. You've got to have a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution. You've got to have a 3.0 GPA. Now, we do make some exceptions to that. So if you do have below a GPA, we do make exceptions based on work experience and so forth. We're going to need your transcripts, which are actually a pretty easy thing to obtain. A few letters, 2 letters of recommendation, a personal statement, your resume, and then $50 application fee. So it's really a pretty simple process in terms of application.
Thank you, Professor Marquez. And also thank you to our alumni. We are coming to the end of our presentation. Professor Marquez, is there anything else you'd like our viewers to know about the Professional MBA program?
So a lot of folks, some people, their concern might be, what if my situation changes? What if I move? And we've had that happen. People move to Texas. My situation changes personally. One of the nice things about our program is that we have this professional MBA program, and we also have an online. There actually is no worry for you if you did move, if something happened in the middle of the program, you can transfer pretty seamlessly and easily into our online program. So that also I think takes out a worry that someone might have about joining a program where they have an in-class person component. We think it's a pretty special program, and we'd love to see you.
Thank you. Thank you again, Professor Marquez, alumni, and to everyone joining us today. If you're interested in moving forward with Ohio's Professional Master of Business Administration, you can call us at 740-924-5725, or you can contact an enrollment advisor via email at getstarted@ohio.edu, or visit our website at ohio.edu/business to request more information. Thank you so much, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care.